And we're live, hopefully. Hi, everybody. Yes, Skye's back with Transport Fever 2. And we have an exclusive first preview of the upcoming update for Transport Fever 2. And I tell you what, guys, be excited. Be very, very excited. There is some really, really cool stuff in this update that is going to change the way you play the game. That's a big call, isn't it? Well, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Hello to everybody in chat. Hello to everybody on YouTube, everybody on Twitch, everybody on Steam. We're also on the Steam Simfest. Welcome all of you Simfest viewers. And I am joined as ever by my faithful sidekick that I just can't shake no matter how hard I try. It's Picture Perfect.
Thank you for that.
You're very, very welcome. Not only am I joined by Picture Perfect, I am also joined by the developers of the game. Well, one of the team, and that is Matthias, also known as Yoshi.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Me? I'm doing fine. Just had a busy week preparing the beta, preparing the update and the stream, but
you and me both.
Everything is good.
You and me both. There's blood, sweat and tears gone into this, let me tell you. Shall we jump in and start showing them this stuff? Because, boy, there's a lot of changes to show you, and there's a lot to get through. I'm just going to bring up my cheat sheet first, because there's... Oh, no, I haven't got it now. Never mind. Okay, plan B. Plan B. Wing it, Skye. It'll be fine. Oh, we've got our first super chat. Hooray.
Yes, from Nick Thompson for £10 says, "Welcome back, Skye," with a heart emoji.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Nick.
And a special shout out to God King Supreme Mega Ultra Dave, who's now been a member for 34 months. Good Lord, man. When are you going to realise? Never mind. Moving on. Okay, so, Transport Fever 2. There is a new update which is coming out. It's going to be going into beta sometime next week. Now, I believe, Matthias, you've got some, just broken news for us in terms of release dates and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, we just released the new and fresh information a couple of hours ago. The final release date of the update will be in May, specifically on Tuesday, May the 10th. And then, until then, we have the beta running. It will start next Tuesday. And so you have something to test over the Easter weekend and before and after that.
And seriously, guys, you want to get your hands on this as soon as possible and play with it, because it is so much fun. Right, I'm gonna jump in and show you the stuff, or start showing you the stuff. There are some big changes to how you create a game. They've added a whole bunch of options to control the game mechanisms and also the game difficulty. Now, this is something I want to talk to Matthias about, because I think this is fun. Okay, so this is the regular stuff. Pick your map format. Now, your towns and industries. This will be, and this is a change, this will be your starting conditions. And you're going, well, yeah, obviously. But they're not going to stay like that, potentially, because you now have dynamic towns and industries. Oh, yes, they will change throughout the course of the game. One of the things with this update is they're focusing more on the tycoon gameplay. And I got to say, I applaud the changes, Matthias. Good job. So I'm going to in the first map that we're going to look at, I've set this up for medium and a low number of industries, right? If we go to the next screen and then we go to settings. Okay, now what do I want to look at? I want to look at advanced settings. And in here, you now have all of these things where you can tweak how the mechanics affect the game. So there's all of these things that you can change on the finances. More interesting are these kinds of things, the town growth factors. So at the moment, the game just runs with everything at 100%, but you can now go in and tweak them. So if you want to start off with very small towns, but you want to really grow them big, then, for example, you could say public transport has a bigger impact. So as you connect more towns together, you grow faster. So you could crank that up to double. You could do the same with private transfer. So private transport. So as you add more links to your road network and connect more cities together, boom, you can get the towns to increase even more. And the same with cargo supply. And then you've got the negative impacts of stations being crowded, traffic congestion, emissions, and you can increase those as well. So you can make the game both more rewarding for doing all the good things, but more punishing for doing bad things, which, very cool. Now, let's go back here. Did I miss anything on that, Matthias?
I don't think you.
Good,
said
excellent.
The most important thing, yes.
Awesome. Right, income difficulty. This was the old just difficulty. And now, we used to have easy, medium, and hard. And the only people that used to play on hard were crazy people. They've now added very hard. Matthias, what was the thinking behind that? Was there a big outcry from the player base saying, no, it's too darned easy, we need very hard?
People said they are a bit bored in the late game because they have enough money for everything. So, yeah, the first step to get more tense in playing the game, especially in late game, is to put away some of the money by making things more expensive, or, like here, just giving the player less money right from the beginning, so they have to be a bit more cautious on what they spend the money on. Of course, it's
I can't even...
And, for example, you can start on easy for the early game, and as soon as you think the game gets too easy for you, you can tweak it and set it too hard or very hard, so in the later game, you will be challenged by getting less reward for your transportation.
Oh, right. So you can adjust the difficulty setting as the game progresses?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know you could do that. I'm so glad I asked that question. By the way, guys, if you have any questions for Matthias about the update, throw them in the chat and we will ask him.
There was a super chat from Rebel Sympathizer earlier.
Hey, Rebel.
$5 Canadian says, drink some Red Bull and wing it.
Sounds like a plan. That was very clever, by the way, Rebel.
Yes.
Very good. Red Bull, wing it. Yeah, I got it.
Can you do me a favour and check the Twitch stream? Because I'm not seeing an output.
No, we're not seeing an output on Twitch. Give us a second, guys. Guys, a technical problem. Apparently, we don't have Twitch up and running. We should have Twitch up and running. I don't know why we wouldn't have. Yeah.
Oh, is it showing? No, it says offline. And
yeah. Why on earth wouldn't Twitch be running? It's all switched on. I switched it all on. Yeah. It's struggling. It's trying to send to Twitch. And apparently it's unable to connect to Twitch. Well, in that case, it is what it is.
That's fine.
No Twitch
we tried.
today.
No Twitch. No, sorry. So all the Twitch people, sorry. Sucks to be you. Okay, fine. Right, let's get back to this because we've got so much to get through.
Super chat from God King Supreme Mega Ultra Dave.
Let's just call him Dave, for heaven's sake, Dave.
Who said, the things he makes me say. He says,
don't read that out. Don't encourage him. Come on, guys. We're on the Steam homepage, for heaven's sake. Behave, Dave.
Yeah, you tell him.
We're not really behave. Okay, so yeah, we've got new game options now. This is some stuff that I've actually been asking for since they made the changes to cargo, like ages and ages and ages ago. So that because my regular viewers will know I did a series called EPEC, every product to every city. And then they changed it. They changed it so that you only get 2 cargo demands per city. Well, now in here, if you don't like only having 2, you can increase that to up to 4 or up to 6. And those demands increase as the town grows. So when it gets over a certain size, it'll go from 2 products being demanded to 4, and then you get over another certain size and it goes from 4 to 6. Awesome. And I'll show you that actually happening in game in a few seconds. And then this is the dynamic industries. So you can set this to be whatever you want. Now, we started in the original settings saying, okay, we'll start with with industries at low. I could now go into here and say, yeah, but I want to end up with a very high density of industry. And what will happen is the game will add industries to the map completely dynamically. Now, if you want to give yourself a bit of a challenge, which obviously I think most of us do. Hang on a second, I just want to bring the chat up so that I can see it, because I could see the chat. There we go. Yeah, you can also have industry closure. Now, the way this works is, and hopefully I'll show you this when we get into the game. The game looks at the industries and sees which aren't being used, and then gives you a certain amount of time. I think it is a year. Is it always a year, Matthias?
Can you just repeat it? I tried to catch up, chat.
Is it always a year before an industry closes? It gives you a warning. So it's always a year. Okay. So yeah
I think maybe we will see it in game. The industries won't just disappear. You get a notification. Oh, watch out! There's an abandoned industry that is about to close in 365 days.
Yeah.
And there's a countdown. You can see and react before it disappears, so you can save it if you really want to use it.
Yeah. So, and you can change that to it never happens, it rarely happens, it sometimes happens, or it often happens, or very often happens. So.
You were excited about that.
I was. Okay, so we're going to jump into an example that I've created because I want to show you. There is much cooler stuff, even than this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A super chat from Chiara while we're waiting for that to load up.
Chiara Bookworm. Hi, Chiara.
And she says, apparently I finished work just in time for a good evening. Glad to see you back, Skye and Picture.
Oh, it's good to be back. And I'm sure people will be like, where's he been? For heaven's sake. In the depths of the beyond. No, not really. Well, yeah, kind of, sort of in the depths of the beyond. I have explained it to my Discord members. So if you want to know all the boring details of what I've been doing and why this forced absence for the last few months, become a Discord member and you can find out. Or ask a Discord member if you're cheap.
And a super chat from Gilbert. Thank you, Gilbert. Says, glad to see you back.
Thank you very much, Gilbert.
A quick question from the Steam chat from Toxic. Wants to know if vehicle maintenance has been implemented.
Vehicle maintenance was already in it. It's not just a bit different than what it was in Transport Fever 1.
Yep.
But there were no changes related to maintenance in this update.
No, the changes that are in here that I am going to show you right now are much cooler than that. Much cooler than that.
While the game is still loading, I just saw another question on the Steam chat. It was in German, so there will be a few words in German for the German viewers. Ja, guten Abend. Wir haben uns hier jetzt für englische Streams entschieden, da doch der Stream eben die Plattform ein bisschen internationaler ist. Ich werde versuchen, die deutschen Fragen zu lesen und mit der Zeit zu beantworten. Wenn die Fragen jetzt im Stream nicht beantwortet werden können, könnt ihr sie trotzdem zum Beispiel im Steam-Forum posten. Und ich werde versuchen, sie in den nächsten Tagen dann auf Deutsch dort schriftlich zu beantworten. Genau. Eine Frage auch auf Deutsch war, worum geht es beim Update? Grundsätzlich geht es bei diesem Update vor allem um Tycoon-Elemente, also neue Herausforderungen im Spiel, eben zum Beispiel durch Industrien, die dazukommen, andere Industrien, die wieder schließen, die Städte, die sich verändern. Und ja, ansonsten gibt es noch Erneuerungen beim Fahrzeugmanagement und Linienmanagement und viele weitere kleine Ergänzungen. Now we switch back to English.
Hooray! And to those of you who don't speak German and didn't understand a word that he just said, well, Entschuldigung.
Yeah, we can summarize the same in English. What was the main goal for the update, or what's the main content of the update? The update will bring new tycoon elements like the dynamic industries, different demands of the towns, and as beside those tycoon elements, there will be better management options for lines and vehicles, and there are some tweaks for the stations. Yeah, and lots of other smaller things you can experience during the beta or after May the 10th when the update is released.
Yeah, and let's get into showing you those things right now. Okay, first thing, how many of you, right? I want a show of hands. Press 1 if this annoys you, and press 2 if it doesn't annoy you, and press 3 if I annoy you, right? So when you load a save game, right, you have to go into here every time and set the filters the way that you want them. So annoying. But they've changed it, haven't you, Matthias?
Yeah, the filter settings are now stored, so when you deactivate some of them, save the game and load it back later, they should still be switched off.
Awesome. So now, if I save this now and then reload it, those filters would stay exactly the same. I really like that change. I've set these filters so many times. Okay.
Just while the votes are coming in, a quick welcome back to Matthew K, who rejoined as a member.
Woohoo!
And a super chat from Lisa C for $5 said, I'm so happy to see you guys back. Much love. Hugs as always.
Oh,
Lisa.
big hugs to Lisa. Always good to see you, Lisa. Okay, so I have set up a little map here, right? This is Bigville. Welcome to Bigville. And we have a bunch of towns which are connected to Bigville. Now, literally, this is sitting on January the 1st, 2000. I've just loaded a brand new map with all the settings that we've just gone through. And then I've just set up some railways to connect these towns together to show you what happens. Now, we've got Cleethorpes over here, and we've got a line that runs from... Actually, if I click on this, I can show it to you. We've got a line that runs from Cleethorpes through Bigville out to Berkhamsted. And then we've got one that runs from Filton. Same thing, goes from Filton through Bigville out to Berkhamsted and back, of course. And we've got another one, if we go a little bit further, from Workington, which does exactly the same thing. So it goes from here through Bigville to Berkhamsted. Now, there's a reason why I'm showing you this. And it's because this update has changed the way, or has enhanced the way that you can set up your lines so that you can use multiple platforms. Now, if you're not quite clear what I mean by that, I'm going to show you. So what I want to do is show you how this affects, like, how you would play the game, because it does change things quite substantially. I bought a whole bunch of trains which are in here. I am now going to start the game and let them loose upon the world. I should have hit me. Oh, I've missed doing that. All right, so there's a whole bunch of trains going to come out here now and start populating this map, and we'll start to see towns start to grow. I have added a couple of road connections. I'm going to reconnect this one because I've just spotted that I didn't reconnect that one. And that'll considerably help things.
While you're doing that, there was a super chat from Alex Barton for £10. Says,
Oh,
why?
not Barton's
Hello
not
there.
here, is he?
He is.
Oh,
Hi,
no.
Alex. And we got a new member.
No way.
We did. Dream Dinkers.
Dream Dinkers. What a
Welcome to the
freaking
channel.
great name. Now, here you go. Look. Town Hingham demands a new cargo type. Phil. And that is because Hingham has grown. Here we go. I don't know where Hingham is, actually. I've no idea where.
Press
Where's...
on the title of the notification, then you would have get.
Here we go. Town South Kirkby and Moorthorpe. Here we go. Let's go over here. So look. So before it was demanding 2 types, and now it's added an extra type because it's got over. Well, I think the cutoff is about 310. Is it 310? Matthias, do you know off the top of your head?
The cutoff.
Yeah, for increasing demand to the point where
No, it's dynamic. So basically, before all the commercial buildings had 1 demand, and the industrial town buildings had the 2nd demand. And with the update and the switched on settings to support more demand, the level 1 and level 2 buildings will stick to the 1st demand per district. And level 3 buildings or level 4 buildings will have the other demands. So as a town grows and larger buildings will appear, they will introduce those additional demands. You can go to the data layers in the top left corner. And then the 3rd one from the top, the land use layer. That one shows which building has which level. The lighter the color is, the lower is the level, and the more intense colors on the right are the buildings with the additional higher demands.
Okay, now Bigville is going to be an exception because I tinkered with that manually. Some players will be saying, we'll be looking at these 2 buttons down here and going, what on earth is this? I am currently playing completely vanilla. There's no mods loaded whatsoever, but I have turned on sandbox mode so that I can tweak certain things. Okay, so we've got our trains running. Now, I want to show you this. What you would typically do when you start building your railway lines. If I go to here, imagine that this just has 2 platforms, right, instead of 6. And what I'm going to do is bring up a line. So we would have all of our lines running through here. Okay. Now the problem with doing that, of course, is that you're going to get trains backing up, waiting to get access to these platforms. So what do we tend to do at the moment? Well, we tend to do this, and we tend to create extra platforms that we then dedicate to particular lines. So, for example, I might go into here, and I might say, right, this one we'll put. Actually, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into terminals. We'll put Clee-Burke on terminal 1. And then we'll put Phil Burke on terminal 2. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll push that out to terminal 6. And we'll push this one out to terminal 5. So if I bring up this. So now each one of the lines has its own individual platform, which is great. It solves the problem. The problem is that we want our lines and our stations to be as busy as possible, but also as efficient as possible. And we don't want to necessarily have more platforms than we need. Because, for example, if I decide, you know what, I'm gonna put in more routes. I'm going to have a route going down to Beccles, which comes up here. Well, what am I going to do? Am I going to knock down half the town and put in an extra couple of platforms? No, of course I'm not. Now, at the moment, the only thing you can do is start sharing platforms. But of course, that's a bit of an issue because you get trains backing up. Well, you don't have to do that anymore, guys, because you can assign multiple platforms. Oh, yeah. Do you want to see it? I do. It's freaking awesome. Okay, so we can go to the Clee-Burke line, manage the line, and we can say that when we go through Bigville, right, you've got this button here, this awesome button. And you click it, and you can tell it what platforms, not platform, platforms you want it to use. Now, this is currently going on to platform 6. I'm now going to tell it, you can use platform 6, platform 5, or platform 4. And you can now see that it's using all 3 of those platforms. Oh, yeah. And then down here, we can do the opposite. So we'll go up here and we'll say, yeah, I want platform 1, 2, and 3 used on that side. Okay, perfect. And then I can do exactly the same thing with these. So we can go into here and say, well, we're using 5 at the moment. We'll use 4, 5, and 6. And then at this one, we're currently using 2. So we'll use 1, 2, or 3. Cool. And then finally, on this one, yeah, let's see. So this one, we're using platform 4. We'll use 4, 5, and 6. And on the return journey, we will allow it to use platforms 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Okay. Now, what this means is, for each line, it will have a preferred platform. So the preferred platform is in a solid color, and then you have slightly faded colors showing you the other options. So what will happen is a train will come in. Here we go. There's a train coming in now. And look, it hasn't used its preferred platform because somebody else was in that platform when it was coming up here. So it decided, oh, you know what? I'll just go into one of the alternates. This platform was being used, so this one has just pulled into an alternate. Now, what this means is, if I decide to add additional connections, I can just put them on here and say, oh yeah, just use whatever platform is free. This enables you to have a much greater density of trains and train lines going through fewer platforms. It's awesome. I later on in the stream, I'm going to go back to some of my old maps, at least 1, probably 2, and I'm going to show you what a big difference this makes. Now, Matthias, have I missed anything in that explanation?
I don't think you missed any. We could just talk about the additional possibilities, because it's not just limited to passenger train station, but it's also available for cargo stations. There, it might be reasonable to use it at terminus stations where several trains are waiting for cargo. And before, sometimes you had an issue with a train waiting for a free platform because it's assigned to that free platform, and there was another train already there which wanted the cargo that was on the train that waits until that track is free. And now you can just assign the alternative terminals, and they should fit next to each other in the order they arrive at the station. So that should be a thing of the past.
Dacty Zero asks the question, trucks too? And the answer is yes. Not just trucks, boats, all road vehicles, all trains, and guess what? Yes, airports as well. You can have multiple terminals set up at airports. However, they've still got to share the runways. So, to be honest, airports, it's not really going to make a difference. I think probably the biggest... You know what? It's going to be different for different players, depending on how they play. For me, this makes a massive change to harbours, and this is an example that I'm going to show you on one of my old maps, which is a very, very well-developed map. It's actually the Tropical Islands map that I did. I'm going to take you back to that. We're going to make some changes to that, and you're going to see, oh, yeah, seriously, I started playing around with the Tropical Islands map, and it just made... I thought I was done with that map. With these new mechanics, and there's still a bunch of other stuff that we need to tell you about, with these mechanics, it wants me to go back and just do the next stage of development because it gives you so many more options. Okay. Any questions on this?
I've got some things to read out.
Go for it. Picture.
Super chat from, is that Rui? Am I saying it? How do I say that?
Which one?
This RUI.
Rui.
Rui, yeah.
Yeah, Rui.
Wasn't sure. Super chat from Rui says, got the notification of the stream, can't stay long, just want to say I'm glad you're both back and of course both doing well.
Oh, thank you, Rui.
And our new member Dream Dinkers said we had some problems doing the super chat. Happy to be here, Skye. Been following you on YouTube since your SimCity days and happy to have you back on YouTube.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yes.
You're not long for this world if you've been following us since then.
And Alex Barton, who's just disappeared off my screen.
Oh, what's Barton up to?
Who says, Skye, can you build me a better motorway to drive home on? I'm sick of the M6.
Oh, the M6 is it's horrific. We went up to visit some of Picture's family who are up in the Midlands, and we drove up the M6, and was it rubbish? Oh, yes, it was. Nightmare, that thing.
A quick question for Matthias as well. Douglas wanted to know, is the beta going to be available for everyone?
Beta is a public beta as long as you have the game on Steam or you have it on GOG. You should be able to access the testing version. In our gaming wiki on our website is a short manual on how to access the beta, and you can find it just when you Google Transport Fever 2 wiki, and then there in the game manual section should be something related to game updates.
So yeah, it is an open beta. As long as you own the game, you're straight in. And I would honestly recommend doing that. I tell you what, before we get onto some of the other really good mechanics, and there's one coming up, guys, that seriously, you're gonna love this change. If you are hardcore into this game, you are gonna freaking love this change. Because again, it's going to allow you to increase the density of vehicles, cargo. You're going to be able to focus things into cargo and passenger hubs in a way that you've never been able to do before. Seriously, you're going to love it, because I love it. Right, but before that, I'm going to keep you teased on that, because we're now going to focus on one of the fun elements. Okay, so let me jump on board good old Train 5. One of my favourite trains, Train 5. I've always had a very great fondness for Train 5. Now, if we jump into first person, right? Yeah, actually, before we jump into it, I'm going to slow it down. We've got a normal pace. You know, I tell you what, when I was setting up, I'm going to digress just for a second. When I started setting this up, I started putting this together and whatever. And this was just meant to be like a simple demo of some of the mechanics, right? I ended up creating blooming these silly flyover bridges and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, stop it, you haven't got time. I was like, yeah, but I wanna. Anyway, getting back to this. So, they have added, I don't know who asked for this. I don't know if anybody did ask for this, but I'm so glad that they've put this in. Okay. You can now go into first person, right? Now, if you're in first person, driving a train, what is the one thing that you want to be able to do? Blow the train whistle, and you can. You know what? You know, I need to turn that up, really. But, you know, I don't really like the horn on this one all that much. There are some much better ones. I'm just constantly blowing the horn on this. Can you hear that? Oh, you can hear it a bit better now.
That guy doesn't look impressed, would you?
He's like, for God's sake, stop pressing that button. No, I'm not going to stop pressing the button. Now, you may think to yourself, oh, good Lord. Okay, well, that's going to be interesting for about 2 seconds. No. They've taken it much further than that. Right. Let's go to an actual example of this. I'm going to go up. This will do bloomin' nicely. Now, we've got these lovely crossings with barriers and all the rest of it. Now, if you've got any of these near where you live, and you've ever sat at one of these barriers waiting for the train to go by, what always happens when the train goes by? It blows its horn, doesn't it? Wouldn't it be cool if you could actually make the trains blow the horn at certain places on the map? You can. Look. I'll show you. And they've done it in a really nice way as well. So we would want the train to, because you want to blow the horn to kind of warn people. So we don't want to do it too close. We'll do it kind of back up here, I would think. So if we go into track and we go to waypoints. So you've got your regular waypoint. Used for rerouting a line, can be added to a line like a station. Now, if I move over to the next one, you'll see that description has a bit added to it. Passing trains use their horn. Oh yes, we are all going to be getting the horn on a regular basis. Now, I've run out. This is exactly why I've got this in what's it mode? What mode is it? I've forgotten the word.
Sandbox mode?
Sandbox mode. Thank you, that's why Matthias is here. Those are YouTubers that can't remember the word. The sandbox. Right, so let's give ourselves some cash. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in. Now, here's a question for you guys. Now, some people are going to have an advantage here, but I'm going to ask the question to you guys, and there's a no prize on offer. Who's going to win the no prize? Why has this got a P on it?
Now it's time to switch back to German again. In the German area, P is used because...
No, don't tell them. Don't tell them. You can ask the question to the German people in German.
Okay.
Why is there a P on it?
Auf Deutsch. Wieso steht auf diesem Schild ein P? Question is, how should they answer? Maybe there's somebody in the chat who knows it.
I'm just going to read through some super chats while we wait for people.
Sounds good.
Toronto Graham says, Skye and Picture, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you both. Oh, thank you, Graham.
Toronto Graham, I'll just mention, Toronto Graham used to actually be a train driver. He was actually a subway driver in Toronto.
Yes.
And he switched. God, I don't know why, but he switched. I wouldn't have switched, but he did. He switched from being a subway driver to being a bus driver in Toronto.
A super chat from Niabra who just says meow.
Okay, well done, Niabra.
So hi, Niabra.
Shall I tell them? I tell you what, you tell them, Matthias. Why has it got a P on it?
Yeah, the chat already guessed it.
Have they? Oh, yes, they have.
Yeah, in German it's Pfeifen if they have their pipe, and would be in English the whistle. So yeah, P for Pfeife.
Okay, so we've got one here, and I'm going to put one on the other side, obviously. So we'll put one on the other side about here-ish. Yeah, I'll do. So we'll pop one of those in there. Now, at the moment when they go by, nothing will happen. You actually have to attach the waypoints to the line. So we'll go into the Filtburg line. I'm so glad I chose what is it, Berkhamsted as one. Okay, so if we manage the line, right? So where's so this is Filton. So when we come in out of Filton. When we come out of after Filton, we want to go through this waypoint. So what I should do is go into here into my filters, and is it going to show me?
Oh, Toronto Graham says he's switched again. He's a train supervisor.
Oh wow, you're back on the trains. Good for you. Well done. Which one is? It should be.
You want forward?
Should be that one. It's not showing up here. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so what was I doing? I want to add a station. So after Filton, add station, and we'll go through there. And then we go to Bigville, Berkhamsted, come back from Bigville, and after Bigville, we want to go through this one over here. There we go. Right. We're done. Now, all we got to do... Oh, it's coming. Right. I am going to... Oh, we've got it slowed down. Perfect. I'm sorry. Guys, you might think that that's going to get... Never gets old. Never, ever gets old. It's brilliant. Oh, come back. I want to put like 15 million more trains on here, so it's just like all the time. So yeah, it just takes the realism another step further. I mean, it's staggeringly realistic already, right? But now you can put these on like all of your road crossings. You can put it on, I don't know, bridge crossings and all kinds of stuff. And I'm sure that there's going to be some surprises coming, because obviously, from a technical perspective, all they've done is create a call to a sound effect. Can you see where this could go? What might modders do? What's going to be there on April Fool's Day? Who knows? Matthias, are you going to give away any secrets?
I heard that at least from the American modding community, they are already busy with planning to come up with lots of different whistle signs. So the variety should be pretty large as soon as they get a hand of the beta, and then will start with their modding. Speaking of modding, there were some questions in the chat regarding modding. I will skip them for now because it just go into too much technical details. If you have those questions, please write them below the recent news postings in the Steam forum, and we try to answer them if possible. Some of those questions just can't be answered at the moment. Yeah. Other question that was asked in the chat earlier: where are the people waiting when you use alternative platforms? We said we stick to the primary platform where the trains should usually go, and then if the trains or the other vehicles arrive at a different platform, they will just jump to the vehicle.
I will, guys.
Yeah,
I'll actually
where they are counted, and yeah. So we said they stick to where they should wait for the primary.
I'll actually show that with the cargo, because the cargo illustrates that really well. Yeah. So when I go to one of my other maps, I'll show that specifically. Now, shall we get on to another juicy change? This one, I bloomin' love this change. Okay. One of the big problems that I've always encountered in previous builds, when I've been doing big maps and trying to do big things and create hubs and whatever, is the limitation, especially on cargo. It does apply to passengers as well, but especially on cargo, that you can only have a certain amount of cargo on a platform. Okay, now you can make your platforms bigger, but there's a limit to that. So, you know, eventually you run out of you run out of space for your cargo. Well, that's changed. And it's changed in a really cool way, because until now, why have you put additional buildings onto stations? Only for aesthetics, right? Doesn't make any freaking difference. Okay, you can create extra entrances, I suppose, but like mainly it's aesthetics. Now it's not only aesthetics. So let's go to another station where I can add some stuff on fairly easily. Let's go over here. Okay, so if we look at this station and we go to terminals, you'll notice that it now tells you how many passengers, in this case, or also cargo, can be stored on the platform. But you also get this: shared capacity of station buildings for full platforms. In other words, if a platform is full, it'll start storing it, either the passengers or that particular cargo type, in the station buildings. Now, currently it says we've got extra capacity of 90. Okay, well, let's crank that up, shall we? So we'll go into passenger buildings, and let's bang one of these big buildings on here. Can I get you to go? Yeah, we can. That'll do. We'll bang that on there, and then we'll grab one of these, and we'll put it on this side like that. Okay, and then if I get out of there and go back to it, look at this. 440. Each one of these buildings has added 200 extra passenger capacity. So what that means is, if you've got massively busy stations, then you can start storing extra capacity, right? Now, if they'd done this change on its own, it wouldn't really have meant necessarily that much. I mean, it certainly would on the cargo side. But when you combine it with the ability to have multiple optional platforms that you can route your trains through, oh, this becomes huge, because now you can have a huge density of trains going through your platforms, because they can use multiple platforms. You can have huge amounts of goods waiting for them. For anybody that doesn't know, if you exceed the limits of a platform, the game will allow you to put the extra stuff onto the platform, but it will start to just disappear into the ether. Basically, it gets stolen, or it rots, or whatever. So this is just awesome. And because your cargo, for example, is primarily on your primary platform, and then the rest of it gets stored away in the buildings, but it gets allocated to all platforms that you've assigned to that line. Oh man, transport hubs become a total thing. I cannot wait to build like a massive cargo hub. And of course, you can share this across multiple different cargo types. So for example, let's say you're shipping, you could be shipping everything. You could be shipping tools and food and fuel and all kinds of products through here. And then because you can have your trains going to multiple platforms and whatever, you can just dump all of your cargo into the station as a whole. You've got the extra storage space, which you didn't have before, and then it can just be picked up by whatever train is going through whatever platform. It's blooming brilliant. I don't know seriously, I don't know whether you guys are as excited about this as I am, but you combine those two things and holy... I cannot wait. I cannot wait to just sit down and bloom and play. So, for all of you guys who are wondering, oh, is Skye back for like just this one stream or whatever? Oh no, there's going to be a Transport Fever 2 series coming out. Now, I'll probably put this to you guys as we get into it, but I'll probably talk to in fact, I will talk to my Discord people about this. What I'm thinking about doing is doing EPEC 2, because of course now, for people who don't know about EPEC was a series that I did on a large map, and EPEC is every product to every city. Now that they've introduced the ability to increase the demand to all 6 products, I can do EPEC again with the new mechanics. And with transport, the possibilities are endless, guys. So, yeah.
Chat's agreeing with you, by the way. Tom said it was brilliant. And then there was just one who said, Brian said it's a massive update for us in terms of gameplay.
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, having the dynamic industry, having the ability to increasing the density of what's happening for me is such a big thing. What I hate doing, and I find myself doing this kind of more and more, is having like multiple lines, you know, running a 4-track or 6-track or 8-track, and just having dedicated lines through dedicated stations or dedicated platforms, and it becomes very, very, very formulaic. This opens you up to all kinds of new designs. It's blooming awesome.
Yeah, we have a question from the Steam chat again regarding those additional capacities that are shared across the station. Question is that platform space shared with truck platforms? The truck station is a different station, but that's one of the other additions in this update. There will be some side buildings for truck stations as well, like for bus and tram station. They will get new additional buildings, and they have capacity on their own. So, for example, if a large train or ship arrives at the harbor or train station, cargo is transferred to the truck station, and then it will be stored on the platform of the truck. And as soon as that one is full, the additional cargo will be stored in the buildings and will be fetched from there when the trucks arrive to pick it up.
So there you go. Yeah, I should have gone over to the other side of the train. Makes more sense. Yeah, oh, that's much better. Which platform are we going to go to? It's a mystery. Oh, it's going to go to the center one. Oh, I love that. Oh, man. Seriously, I don't get... it's going to be a long time before I get tired of seeing, like, occupied platforms and seeing other trains come up and just go to a different platform.
Yeah, but I think for the diversity of visible things, why shouldn't yeah, I'd say we continue to a different station or different setup. I think you have some other things in
I do. Where are we up to? Oh my! You know what? As far as this event that's going on, the SimFest event, we're on that for an hour, aren't we, Matthias? I think.
Yeah, it's the mainstream is an hour, but we can continue.
But we're going to continue. Longer. So you can either go to the if you're watching on the SimFest page, you can either go to the Transport Fever 2 page on Steam. Oh, and I will mention, if this has whetted your appetite and maybe you don't have the game yet, you're in luck, because for the next 4 days, you can buy Transport Fever on Steam with 50% off. Oh, yes. Now, if you're asking yourself, well, all of these things sound really, really good, but how much is this DLC? How much is this expansion? It's completely free, like all the updates to Transport Fever have been since Transport Fever 2 was released. Always free updates. Can't ask for more than that. Well, you could ask for more frequent updates, but I think that would be a bit greedy, really, and ungrateful, frankly. Oh, dear. Okay, so let's move on and look at something else, shall we? Because... It just gets better. I'm just gonna save. I'm gonna save this as map 3, so I can go back and I want to go back and play with this. There's some more stuff that I want to do here, and then we'll load one of my old maps and we'll play around. So I tell you what, I've been going into my old builds and. I just get dragged in every time. I went and looked at Peninsula earlier this morning, and I probably spent an hour just like looking around and looking at what I've done. Let's go back here. We want, I think it's 54. Here we go. This is what we want. This. And we can talk about this while it's loading up. This, you'll be pleased to know, is the Tropical Islands map from the Tropical Islands series. I called it Asian Islands, didn't I? Yeah. Asian Island. It was the Asian Islands series. If you're kind of interested and you want to go and check it out. So this is using the tropical biome, and it's like a big island surrounded by some smaller islands, and it's got a fairly developed. Why am I being so? It's got a blooming huge infrastructure with massive loads of stuff. But I ran into the problems of platforms having too much stuff on them and not being able to really deal with it, especially harbours. So we're going to play around with some of that now. So, Matthias, we've got some colour things to show you, haven't we, Matthias? We'll show them that. Is there anything else that we should make sure that we cover?
I can just answer a bunch of questions with a general answer. People ask for some other ideas of feature that might be introduced that are not part of the update. Of course, this update won't be the last update. We will continue our work, but so far we can't go into details what will be included in future updates, as we now are currently busy with focusing on getting this update running for you in the beta, and then in May, when the final release is there, it's stable and runs fine for all of you. But we will have news in the future, and you will hear from us on our channel, social media, on Steam, on our website, and everywhere where you can talk and chat about the game.
So there you go. You heard it here. Rising Sun asks, are Skye and Picture in a relationship? Yes, yet. Are we?
Didn't you get the memo?
I mean, there is our relationship. I mean, it's kind of sort of a mutual disdain and loathing at this stage, isn't it? Generally. Oh dear. Right. We're filling in time while this loads up. This particular I tell you what we can talk. I was just going to mention this has got loads of mods and whatever. Do you want to talk about profiles, Matthias?
Oh, mod profiles. Yeah, now we just left the load menu to load a save game, but yeah, especially people who play the game for the artistic approach, and they try to design a cool landscape and have a nice map. They tend to use lots of mods, and frequently demanded feature was the introduction of mod presets or mod lists. So you can transfer a list of mods that you have selected in a specific order from one game, and you can reuse it on a different map, or you can even share it with friends. That feature will be included. You can now save the list of mods that is part of a save game from your computer. They will be saved to an external file. You can re-import that file again to use it in different maps, or you can put that file to your friends and they can load the file and have the same mod preset. And if they miss some of the mods, this preset will contain the necessary info, which mod is missing, who is the author of the mod. If it's a Steam mod, it will automatically show you the link to the Steam page. And if mods include information where they are from, if they are manually installed, even that information is available, so people can find missing mods better than before.
Okay, so here is a really good example of what I was talking about in terms of capacity and transport hubs and stuff. So over here, I have an oil refinery, the Honkelbriff oil refinery to be specific, which is fed with crude oil on this line, the SF crude line, which gets crude oil from these 3 oil wells here, and also there's some oil shipped in to this train station from somewhere else as well, I think. That's taking the fuel out. to be distributed to the cities. But does it bring any oil in? No, but there is more oil coming in from somewhere, I think.
Glenn just said, "Damn you, Skye, that's the plastic out and Transport Fever 2 now purchased."
Well done. Okay, so the problem with the ships is that, I mean, they carry a fair amount. These are carrying 130 fuel. If you're doing other cargo, it's even worse, because if you get the Merlin cargo containers, they're carrying, I think, 240 goods, and these platforms don't hold that much before they start overflowing. So if we go and look at the terminals, this can hold 336. That's it. As soon as it gets over 336, you start losing it. Now I'm going to show you an example of that happening, because that's exactly what we've got going on over here. So I've got 3 oil wells here, and they're all producing. They're trying to produce at max capacity because we've got the demand for it, but you'll notice that they're not, because we're not shipping it all, because it's getting put onto this dock to be picked up by these ships. But if we look at this, actually I need to crank this up so that we actually start. This will get overloaded, and we start to lose cargo. A ship had just been in. Come on, speed up. One thing that I've done now, bear in mind, guys, that I'm playing on essentially an alpha build. It's a pre-beta build. It's a preview build. It's not the finished build that's going to be released into even beta. So if we have any issues, then hopefully you'll understand. I think the game is lagging a little bit because I was in one map and I loaded directly in another map rather than closing down and reopening again. So I might have to close this down and reopen, but we'll see what we can do. Anyway, so if we look at the terminals, this has got 336. These are 168, and we've got a little bit of extra. Now, at the moment, with existing save games, it doesn't automatically pick up the extra storage. If you add anything or change anything, it will recalculate. Matthias, when this goes into beta and into live, will old games, old saves automatically pick that stuff up, or will it be a case of still having to make a change?
It always depends on the feature. For the station capacities, we try to add a function that automatically refreshes them so they count all the capacities. That one is missing in your version right now. But of course, there might be some issues with modded stations. They aren't automatically updated because they might have some different codes. And there are some mods out there. For example, some are they have a duplicate of our original station configuration, and these do not contain the code that is necessary to work with the capacities. So some mods might be updated before the features will work there, or players have to deactivate these mods until they are updated.
Okay, this is running too slow. I'm going to restart this because it's not fair to you guys. You guys need to see this running properly. So I'm actually going to quit the desktop and we'll reload this so that we can actually see this running properly.
I've got some super chats to catch up on just while you're waiting for...
I tell you what, save those, because in a couple of seconds, I'm going to take a quick rest break, and you and Matthias can run through various questions and super chats and all of that sort of stuff. Let me get Transport Fever up and running, get this loaded in again, and then I can show you what I hope you're going to think is really cool stuff. Here we go. So what do we want? We want, load game. And we want to go back down to the... There we go. That's the one I wanted. Start. Okay, right. Quick rest break for me.
Yeah, I'll read through some of these super chats and we'll grab any questions as they come in. The first one was from Niabra. Says, welcome back, Skye and Pitcher. Really missed one of my favourite free YouTubers that I watch daily. So thank you, Niabra, for that. And then see, I think there was one from... it's gone off the screen, but Dave, I did see that you were doing your best to behave yourself. And one from Nick Thompson, who says, I sense a Charles Vane-sized hub in the future. Yes, I'm sure that will be happening in Skye's new playthrough. And I think there was another... So another super chat, or... one's just come through from Vince, although it's in German, which I cannot read. But it ends in English with Go Arsenal. So, yes, thank you, Vince.
Vince asks if the airplanes running through large buildings or scratching along the mountains will be fixed. The flight paths of the airplanes are a pretty complicated thing, especially to avoid objects that are in the way. And so far we didn't improve it, but I'm sure it is on the list somewhere, and maybe it will be fixed in a future update, but I can't promise it for now.
There was one from Christian asking if there will be a multiplayer mode for Transport Fever 2 in the future.
Oh, big question. Of course, we know that there is a wish for the multiplayer, and we talk about it here in office sometimes, but so far we can't tell if there will be a multiplayer soon or later or anyone. It's just not defined on our side, so we do not have information that we can give to you. There was another question in the Steam chat again in German, if the multi-platforms work for every type of vehicle. Yes, we said it previously, it is working for every type of station, like the additional station capacities are also available for every station type.
I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back.
Hooray! And there was much rejoicing. Okay, so let's see if... here we go. You can tell straight away this is much more responsive. I only need to save these with the filters set the way that I want them set, so that I never have to do it again. Hooray!
Niabra says he has to go. He wanted to know if we're going to be in Discord afterwards.
Yes, we are going to be, for anybody who's interested, we will be on Discord after this. And we'll tell you guys... well, we already did tell you guys kind of what's been going on for the last few months, but we'll no doubt go into that again. Okay, so let's go over and set this up. And I'm gonna show you the colorization as well, because that... Oh, they've done what I've been saying they should do for ages. Haven't you, Matthias?
Yeah, we introduced an extended color palette to recolor lines and vehicles, and you can even now select your own custom color and save it to reuse it later for our other lines or other vehicles.
Okay, so let's go down here. We'll do that now. Actually, let's go over here and see if this will. It's just like it's loading in all the models at the moment. Here we go. Now it's much more responsive. Hooray! And there was much rejoicing. Okay, let's speed this up. Okay, so currently, this thing, it's 78 and it's ticking up. 81. Where's the next boat? Next boat's back out there. They're at maximum production. Good.
A quick super chat from Alex Barton, who said he's got to go and have a good night. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. By the way, this is the first preview stream. There's going to be another preview stream on Sunday, Matthias?
Yes, there will be a second stream on Sunday together with Squirrel, and there you have the chance again to see the new features in action on his maps and his commentary, and I will be there as well to answer questions.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
we have
if
some
you want
time.
another dose of Matthias, but this time accompanied by Squirrel, he's done some good stuff. Squirrel has. Then yeah, go and check that out. There's it also, if you want to know more details about what's in this update, there are links in the video descriptions. So in the on YouTube, it'll be in the video description. On Steam, you've put it in the Steam description as well, I think, Matthias.
The live stream event has the links in the description, or you can just go to the community hub of our game, and there are the recent news which cover the most important features that will be there in the update. And the other thing is you just wait until Tuesday and try out the testing version in the beta channel.
Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the vehicle colorization, but it's the same as the line colorization. So I'll show you the line colorization. So essentially, until now, you've only had a very limited number of colors that you can use. Oh, no more. If we go down here to custom colors, if I shift click on this, oh yeah, we've got a full-blown color wheel. You can have whatever color you want. And if you want a specific RGB color, then you can put the numbers in and boom. You can even do it in hex if you're that way inclined. So yeah, you can have essentially any color you want now, and it's the same for coloring vehicles as well. So there you go. That's that. What else? What else? Okay, so this over here. Oh, that's just nicked all that stuff off there. just when it was filled up. Okay, let's increase the storage over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into here and I'll get rid of this like that, and then I'm going to add some additional cargo buildings to give us additional storage. So let's do one. My PC is being very slow, and it's not the game, because this was running fine before. So this is my PC that's doing this. So I do apologize. Let's get rid of that one, that landing. We'll grab this main building, pop that in there. Come on, pop that in there. Good. Okay. So now what will happen, now that I've added something to this, it's going to recalculate. So if I go to terminals, now you can see we've increased our storage, our shared storage, up to 1,840 units. So we can now combine that with additional platforms. So currently this line is coming into this platform over here. Right, I'm going to show you another new feature. I love this. This is something that people have been requesting, especially those of us who create, actually let me show you, especially those of us who create things like canals and things like this, because sometimes you want to be quite precise about how you route the ships through areas like this, and at the moment you can't. Well, now you can, because we've got waypoints for ships. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into ships, waypoints. Look at this. We've got buoys. The buoys, otherwise known as buoys in America, I do believe. So I'm going to put one of these, and I'm going to flip it around like that. And I'm going to put it, say, about there. Cool. And then I'm going to go into terminal. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to this line. I'm going to go to manage line, and I'm going to say, use, let's see, this is Honkelbriff City West. I'm going to say use either platform 1 or platform 2 now, so we can have 2 ships loading or unloading at the same time. And then I want to adjust this line so before they come into Honkelbriff City West, so it'll be after Lower Guggets, we want to add this waypoint.
Okay, we've got some excitement in chat about waypoints for ships.
Oh, it's awesome, right? Waypoints for ships. Okay, so that's all set up now. So what's going to happen now? I don't know why these ships seem to be going very slowly. This doesn't seem to be... This, Matthias, this doesn't seem to be increasing the speed.
The speed?
Yeah, I'm increasing the game speed. But
yeah. That might be... You have a very, very busy late game save game.
Yeah, but you know what? I was playing around with this earlier, and it was working fine. And so we might have to have a look at this afterwards and see see what's, because it just doesn't seem to be doing anything.
The issue is simulation is a very CPU heavy action, and as you're right now streaming in parallel when running the game, the CPU has doubled the load, and of course that limits the capacity of the CPU, so simulation might take a bit longer. And before several updates ago, that would result in the game stuttering and the trains only or vehicles only jumping around, but now they run smoothly but a bit slower.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, but I'm sure. Well, it was definitely running faster before. Maybe it is the streaming that's causing the issue. So bear with us, guys. Unfortunately, yes, more hamsters needed. Tone MT is quite right. I've got to say though, this actually looks like it's just not doing anything, and it was. So I don't know, but maybe it is the streaming part. If that's the case, that's a shame. In which case, you guys will have to tune into my next series to see this working properly. So let's have a look over here. So we're over 220. It's not going to get up to the overflow levels at the moment. And with it running this slowly, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do what I was planning on doing, because I can't. It's taking so long to do anything.
There are faster ships in the game, like the passenger ferry or the hovercraft boat.
Yes, unfortunately, they don't carry. Just the hovercraft doesn't carry cargo; it only carries passengers, as far as I'm aware.
Passenger only, yes.
There is a. I think there's a mod for what's the one with the hydrofoil? There's one for a hydrofoil which I think also carries cargo. Anyway, yeah, I think you get the idea of what you can do, because you can store so much more here now. I mean, we can store what? And that's going to store 6 times as much as it was storing before these changes. So you can create real hubs. And again, we can go over here to where we're actually shipping the stuff to, which is this port over here. And what I wanted to show you, I'll try and do this. Let's pause this for a second. So if we go into here, this is where we're sending the crude oil. It gets processed in here, gets shipped up this train line, and then gets shipped off on boats to a place where it's turned into fuel. Then that fuel is brought down here, back on the boats, and shipped over to the town of Honkelbriff City, or the city of Honkelbriff City, and then it goes off to Guggets City and other places. But what we'll do here, same thing. We can now turn this into a real transport hub. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to throw in some additional storage. Boom, boom. We will, let's see. Let's get rid of this landing. Cool. we'll get a couple of nice large docks, which we'll put. Now, I mean, I think probably 2 is fine. Yeah, that's fine. We'll want some landings, so we can put. Come on, 3 and outside navigable water. Oh, really? Okay, well, we'll manage with 3 then for now. Actually, am I going to? No, I'm not. I'm going to get fussy. If I get my flattening tool and maybe just bump that up a little bit and then just do a little bit of flattening into there like this. There we go. Let's see if that fixes it. I think it probably will, with a bit of luck. And oh no, it's still saying docks outside navigable waters. Okay, never mind. Well, we'll do it with 3 then. So what we can now do, go into here and manage line. And now this is Lower Gugget City. So we go into here and we say we can use platforms 1, 2, or 3. So look at that. Cool. So now we've got the ships coming down here and going to these. We can do the same thing again. We can put in another waypoint so that the ships kind of line up here and then go in. Because at the moment they're going kind of all over the place, which is a little bit untidy. So we'll, first thing I want to do is go into ships and put the buoy down, the buoy. So, and of course you can do this for the entrance to docks, and also you could put another one for the exit from the docks if you wanted to. Let's just adjust that.
Yeah, while you constructed a harbor and the buoys, there are some other questions. Mike on YouTube asks if, or says there is no special version for the M1 Max. Yes, we are aware that there are no native builds for M1 or silicon builds on Mac, but the normal macOS version should run on these computers as well, with those the Rosetta emulation. So far, we didn't hear that the performance is much worse than on the old architecture for the MacBooks or Mac Pros or iMacs. And second question from BKO Deview, he asks if the buoys may be modded for use on airplanes. No, they can't. We are aware of the demand for waypoints for airplanes, but as I said earlier, the ways that the paths for flying planes are a different thing, and they are much more complicated than the ship ones because they are in 3-dimensional space and not just on a flat water surface. So that will be a different topic for the future. Maybe we can find a solution, or eventually it will be there. I can't promise it for now.
Okay, so you can now see we've massively increased the amount of product that we can store here and the options that we have for ships coming in here. So at the moment, I'm just bringing, taking fuel out, bringing oil in, but you can start creating docks which are handling all kinds of products. And instead of having to have like a dedicated dock for every single product that you're shipping, you can combine them and you've got the storage to handle it. The boats will go to multiple platforms. It's just blooming. Seriously, there's so much for potential for what you can do with this. It's frankly quite staggering. Right, I'm going to try and crank things up a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the trains using this. So let's go to manage vehicles. We've only got 2 trains running up and down this line. It's not a horrendously long line, but I think we can do better than that. So let's select those. We will duplicate those, and we'll duplicate them again. So we'll triple the trains going up and down. Now, if I just left it like this is exactly what happens. If I just left it like this, the trains that I've added are just going to end up sitting and waiting for these trains to load up and get out, right? So we'll do the same thing over here. We'll go into this line, manage the line, and now this station is Lower Gugget City, so we will say that you can use which platforms do I want to use? I want to use, well, actually, I actually don't see any reason why we shouldn't use, I think it's 2, yeah, 3 and 4. Yes, 2, 3 and 4. So we'll set those up to be used. So now these trains that are coming in here can go to any one of these platforms. Now, this does, like I said right at the beginning, I said these updates are going to change the way you design your layouts, because obviously we now need to be able to get into all of these platforms. And the way this is designed at the moment, you can't, because it's designed to use just a single platform, go in, come out. So we're going to have to change things around a little bit. Now let's see, can I get, I may have to get rid of that actually, because I need to put a crossover in here. Yeah, that wasn't probably the smartest thing I've ever done, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, there'll be worse things, trust me. Okay, let's see. I might be able to clear this actually if I put in a signal. Let's see, if I pop in a signal over here, I don't know, but probably about there-ish. Will that allow use? Yes, it will. Aha. Now, is that going to be enough to get you out of the way? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So what I was planning to do, if this wasn't having performance issues right now, I was going to change this line end to end, but it's currently running at like single speed, which really doesn't make this doable, unfortunately. Yes. So that one can get out, that one can get in. Now we should see if I can change these lines around a little bit. So what do we want? We want this to be an X, don't we? Yeah, we want this to be a cross. So let's go to tracks. We'll put in, where are you? Try and make it tidy, although I don't know whether I'm going to be able to. Oh, I don't think that's going to... No, that's not going to work. Oh, man. Okay, well, we'll do it this way then. I'll get rid of that. And we'll have a smaller cross going on. So let's put it in like that. And come on. Oh. It's always the way when you're trying to get something done quickly and you rush, it never works. Okay, let's try from there to, come on, yes, hooray, there we go. Okay, so we put that in. I've got a signal down there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that allows us to get into that one and that one. This allows us to get into there and potentially come back. What we're going to have to do is put a signal on here to make sure that it doesn't get into any problems. Right. So now we've got a double slip switch here. So we should be able to get over into that platform as well. Okay, yeah. That should work now. Now, where are you going? So that's gone into that platform there. This should be able to go into one of the other platforms. And then this one should be able to go into whichever is the remaining platform. Okay, so I think this one's going to go into this platform here. That's what I think. We'll see. Yes! There you go. So that's going to slip into there. And then this one is going to go over into that platform over there. Oh yeah. Can you see the possibilities here, guys? You can have a much denser operation with lots more trains. Now this one's decided to go into this platform. I thought it would go into that one, but it's decided to go into this one. Maybe this one will go over into this one. But it's all happening very slowly at the moment. If you want to see this all running at full speed, you'll either have to tune into Squirrel's stream and hope that that's running at full performance, or you'll have to watch my new Transport Fever series.
Or play the game themselves.
Or you could, I mean, you know, as if anybody would actually play a game rather than watching some daft streamer do it. Yeah. All right. You pay your money, you take your choice. You're going to go over into this one? No, it's not. It's still going to come down here. Okay, fair enough. Okay, now it's definitely stuck. But you can see what I really need to do is have this as a three-way crossover, or just basically designing it in a way that where it doesn't get stuck. Anyway, what I was going to do was do this, then come up here, do the same with this one, and expand the docks here, expand the storage. This is a lovely little cove here with this oil terminal. It's a really nice rundown from the trains coming in here, dropping off down to here. Very tropical. Love that. And then that gets shipped up here. Now, what I was going to do was put in an extra fuel refinery to increase demand over here, and then ramp up the whole line. But it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I think at this point we'll throw it open to questions, maybe.
There was just in Steam chat, which is the point where a train decides which platform it uses? Interesting question. The answer is they decide in the moment when they try to reserve the path to the platform. So usually it's the last signal before the station. That might help as an information when you try to design switches and tracks, the layout before in front of the station. So the diverging point is usually just at the signal before the platforms, or if there are no signals between two stations, then of course it's when they depart at the station before. There's another question, did I get that right? Players can build industries now. When you activate the sandbox mode, you can do that since release. If you do not have the sandbox mode running, they aren't available.
I think while we're answering questions, I'm going to jump out of this because it's running too slowly. It's not that much fun. So we'll jump over into the one that we were running before, and we'll have a ride on some trains while we're answering questions. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe we'll build some more stuff.
more demand, horn waypoints for ships, please. We do not have horn waypoints for ships included, but I think it should be moddable when you add your own buoys and flag them as triggers for the horn sounds of passing ships. That should work. Same for road waypoints. I think you didn't show the road waypoints so far. They in theory would have the same possibility. A modder can add the flag so they trigger the horn sounds of the passing buses and trucks.
Yeah, there's a feature that we have failed to mention, and that is waypoints on roads. Before I say it, it's funny, when I was watching the chat just before we were going live, there were people in the chat saying, oh, what we need is like the what's it called? I can't remember what it's called now. Basically, the thing that handles what is it? Traffic Manager Plus or something. It's a mod for City Skylines. And they were saying, oh, we need that. The waypoints now allow you to select lanes. So if you've got trucks that are going down, I don't know, whatever, a 2-3 lane highway or whatever, and you want to keep them out of places that are particularly busy, like turn-offs and stuff, you can now do it. You can now actually do it. You can put it in and say, okay, I want you to be in, utilize this lane along this stretch or whatever. Matthias, how can you, like, how much can you fine tune that?
The road lanes?
Yeah.
So before the update, you had the chance to add waypoints and they only stick to the rightmost lane in the direction of travel. Now you can add waypoints and they will cover every lane in that particular direction. So if you have a two-way road, you can add a waypoint on either side of the road and it will cover every lane in that direction. In the setup where you add the waypoints to your line, so that your vehicles will pass that waypoint, you now have a selection similar to the one for stations where you select the terminals, and at the waypoints you can now select which lanes they will use. We are aware that there's still a huge gap between what our capabilities in road network are compared to, for example, that famous mod from City Skylines. And as I said before, there might be changes or improvements in the future. We can't promise anything as of now, but yes, we are aware of what is possible there. Some people described other things like the tram laying stuff in Cities in Motion in the chat before. We know these, and we try our best, but it's not part of the update, but may be part of some updates or whatever in the future.
I've just read Dave's comment.
Super chat from Dave says, important announcement. I have pizza.
I'm so jealous. I will be talking to you after this, Dave.
Yeah, I could go for some pizza right about now.
Yeah, I could do with some pizza. That's made me so
Dave.
Hungry now. Because of this stream, we would normally eat like about an hour ago.
Yeah.
And we've got to wait till after this stream so that we can have something to eat. So thanks for mentioning food, Dave.
Christian is just asking in YouTube chat, when is the patch coming? We said it in the very beginning. The beta testing will start next week on Tuesday, and the final release of the update will be on May 10th. So it's another Tuesday, somewhere after Easter. And there are additional questions. Tom Few asks if the alternative platforms also are configurable through the station platform UI. They are only configurable through the line manager so far. Yeah. Are there other questions? And the platform preference, for those who didn't see it earlier, there still is the primary terminal selection like it was used before in the update. And the alternative terminals are only used if the primary one is occupied by another vehicle. For example, if the second train arrives and the first one is still in the station, then they will take one of the alternatives and not the main terminal. But if the station is free, they try to get to the primary terminal before. Yeah, questions. I just read through the chats.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna be wrapping the stream up probably in about 15 minutes or so. So if you've got questions, we've got Matthias here. Now's the time to ask your questions.
I'd say we run the stream until 9 o'clock our time or 8 o'clock your UK time.
Sounds good.
That sounds fine. Okay.
Yeah, sounds
so
good.
20 minutes to go. Other questions. Can I tell trucks to stop driving country roads and take that nice fast highway I built for them? Yes, that's what waypoints are for. You can use the waypoint, place it on the highway and add it to the line of your trucks, and they will take a route through that waypoint, so they'll use your highway. I think that should answer the question. Manu00 asks, how does a factory decide how many goods go to which platform? The goods are all waiting at the primary platforms, and if the train arrives or the vehicle arrives at another platform, the cargo or the passengers will be more or less teleported to the other vehicle. It's
Actually, Matthias,
gameplay reasons. It's like that.
Matthias, can I jump in there? Because this is raises an important point. One of the problems that I always had was, if you want to ship more than kind of one train line's worth of goods from one place to another of cargo, it was always a problem adding a second line, because the game doesn't really load balance between the two. What it will do is it will try and run everything through one line, and then if there's anything left over, then it will start to put it on the second line. What it means now, that problem completely goes away, because you can just put more trains onto that single line, but with extra platforms. And it just solves that problem. It's why I keep raving about how awesome that is. The extra storage and multiple platforms, game changer.
People are asking if you can show the roadway points in the stream. I'd say it's time to set up a road with multiple lanes in one direction.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do it then. I actually have one prepared, Matthias. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We go to... now, where did I do this? Probably Big Town. It is Big Town, actually. I've just got to find... I've got lost. Where's Big Town? Oh, I know.
You look for Big Town. In the meantime, I'll just answer other questions. Gaming Llama asks, I have a general and possibly stupid, no, it's not that stupid question. Why do electrified trains add to pollution? It's not just pollution, it's emissions. And sound is not pollution, but it's emission as well. So the emissions cover for the pollution and the sound. Hence, electric vehicles still have some sound emission and count into that one.
Jason asks if you can describe how the new hardest mode changes the game compared to the normal mode.
The difficulty setting basically adjusts the income that you receive. So the harder the difficulty setting is set to, less money you will receive per delivered item. And if you do want to change other things than the difficulty, you can do that now. With the update, there will be plenty of new options where you can tweak, like the factors for town growth or other financial aspects like general scale of prices for vehicles or the maintenance costs of vehicles and the infrastructure. Rich Gear asks, any idea when that update will be released? Yes, it will be released on 10th of May and the beta testing phase where you can try it out in its current state. Maybe it still includes some bugs, but we'll fix them until the final update. The beta starts next Tuesday.
Okay, so I'm going to set up... you know what? I could set up a bus route, couldn't I? Yeah, that would work. Okay, so let's put in a bus route. So we'll get... we'll just throw in some bus stops around the place. So, you know what? Let's just throw in one in front of the train station, and then we'll have maybe one on this side as well. Yeah. And... okay. Then we'll go to the other end of the route, which is going to be all the way over here. And do the same thing. So we'll throw in a bus stop over here. And we'll have another one over there. Okay. So, if we go to the line manager and add a new line, and so we'll start, I guess we'll start there, we'll go to that stop, then we'll go all the way over here, and we want to go, actually, that needs to be on the other side of the street. Let's just pop that on there. We don't really need the third one, because what we want to show are the waypoints. So if we put in, I know how to do this. I know how to kind of show this off, I suppose. I'm going to need a depot. So let's throw in a depot, which we can just pop in up here somewhere. Let's flip you around and pop you.
Matthias, Jim wants to know if there's any plans to include native right-hand drive for the game.
I saw the question, yes. Good question. As I said earlier, there's a huge potential to improve the road networks, lane management on routes and all the stuff. And I can't get into details because there are no defined details so far. So maybe it will be added at a later point, or it isn't. I can't tell for now. And there was another question worth answering from Simulation Gaming. Will the update affect heavily modded safe games? That depends on the mods. I hope, or at least I assume, that most of the content mods like new vehicles, new assets won't have troubles with the new update. There, of course, might be some troubles with scripting mods or mods which just duplicate the sources of the base game and modified them by providing a duplicated version of the same file. They might need an update to add the new features, or might be a bit incompatible until they are updated by the individual modder. But the majority of mods should be fine.
Right, so I'm just setting up this line. So let's see, that's... I need to show stops so I can actually see which one's which. Okay, so Queensway is stop 3, so it would be stop, so it'd be after Main Street. We want to add that stop. There we go, okay. So we've got this route going like this. What I'd like to do to illustrate this, I think probably the best way to do that. If I add in, how do I want to do this? Can I get this to, no, it's not going to do it in any sensible way, unfortunately. No. What I was trying to do is put like an alternative route in here, but it doesn't want to do it.
Interesting.
What if I do? Aha! Yes. Yes, I can. I can. Possibly. The thing is, I want this to, if possible, to be the shorter route. You know what? Let's do it like that and that. And let's see if that's the shorter route. So, we go back over here and pick up our line 1. So our line 1 goes... Okay, it's going that way. Okay, fine. But you can see... that it's using the middle lane all the way along. So let's try putting in a couple of waypoints and we'll see what happens. So let's put in a waypoint. Waypoint there. And a waypoint up there.
Why you build additional waypoints? Another question from Tara in the Steam chat. A bit of a technical question. Is the simulation performance going to be updated too? He's struggling a bit with his 6 hours playtime save game and asks if there can be something done to improve it. Yeah, it's not there are not the real big improvements in this update, but as I said earlier, we will try to improve it further in the future. Of course, more performance improvements are always better, and they will always be on our to-do list. It's a never-ending topic for us, like it's for the players.
Okay, so Matthias, you can see that I've added 2 waypoints in, and added those to the route.
Yeah.
So, what do you want me to do to demonstrate this?
Yeah, you have the line manager open, and
Yep.
you can, on the right side, where you can select terminals for stations, you can now select the lane where the road vehicles should pass the waypoint in the line manager.
So you can see that we're changing the lane. So if we go to the second lane, you can see that the whole thing now has moved over to the second lane. So
Yeah, I think you should go to the other waypoint. Yes, here. The Berkhamsted waypoint. It's on screen. Not the Big Will. Big Will is far in the back of the screen.
this is this one. There's one over there. There's one over here. But both of them are included, and I've updated both of them.
Okay, so now, when there's a bus, it should take the right lane.
So we'll try and illustrate this. Oh, I'm trying to pick up that. I can't pick it up from the waypoint. That's annoying. Okay, we'll go to the line manager and pick it up from there. Okay. So you can see that this bus is coming down the middle lane. With this one, let's change it, because that one is in the middle lane by default. So let's swap this over. So let's put it into a different one. What do I want? Manage line. So let's have the right-hand lane. Cool. And the same for this one. Oh no, that is that one. This one into 3. There we go. So now, hopefully, he said, yes, we've switched it over so they're in this right-hand lane. Very cool.
Okay, yeah. There is another question in YouTube chat. Luis asks, will there be changes in the editor? I'm not sure if you mean the map editor or the model editor, the modding tool. There are no big changes in the map editor, but the model editor will get a lot of improvements with the update, better usability. It will save the settings. You do not have to set up them every time you start the editor. And there are new screenshot options available for creating icons or larger screenshots to use them on a website, or if you like to post your creation, your new model that you are busy with right now. And yeah, the best thing is to just try it out after next Tuesday, so when it's available as part of the beta. And there will be some documentation on our wiki as well regarding the new additions for the modding to the model editor. Yeah, Jones has another question for the model editor. We can't show it here now, as Skye Storme, I don't think he has the model editor set up. But it might come in handy if you re-import additional meshes for a model that you're already busy with configuring, so you can save the MDL file and it only updates the meshes. But for more details, we might have a chat. Question from one member of the German community, but in English, are there signals as constructions? It's not a running gag, but every update it's the same question. And until now, I have to say sorry, no, they are not part of the update, but they are somewhere on the list of potential wishes for the future, of course. Andreas Biedemann asks, is it also possible to place the trams on the inner lane, including bus stop? No, they are still limited to the outer lanes in our game like it is, but I'm aware of a mod that tries to bring it to the center lane. You might find some information about that mod somewhere on the internet. Maybe it's something for the future for our game, but I can't promise anything at the moment. Good. How do vehicles decide which platform to use when the main one is occupied? Is it by shortest distance? If I remember correctly, it's not necessarily by the shortest distance. It will just, I think, randomly choose one of the alternatives. But I'm not 100% sure as of now, because there were some tweaks and changes in the last couple of weeks. Question. Switching back to Steam chat. What is the biggest performance offender today? People in the map or number of vehicles lines in late games? Usually it's related to both. The private cars of the people in the towns are pretty resource hungry, and yeah, that's why we hope that we can improve performance in the future as soon as we can tackle improvements in that area of the game. And yes, we are aware of the bit crazy changes between the lanes. We will just see it in a few seconds on stream, where the bus switches back to the center lane. Oh, no, sorry. We saw it in the past. Yeah, I have the delay as well. Yeah, I think that should cover the most recent questions. Yeah, so it's almost 9 o'clock. I'd say we wrap it up for today, should we?
Yes, I think so, and I think we should wrap it up by just running through the major pieces of information that you should take away. So, the game update is going to be going into beta next week on Tuesday. Correct, Matthias?
Yes. Yeah, beta next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, which is the 4th?
Yeah, should be, yes.
The 4th of April.
The 5th.
Sorry,
The
the 5th. The 5th of April. So Tuesday, the 5th of April. And then it's going to be going live on the 10th of May, correct?
Yes.
The 10th of May, it goes live. If you want to be in the beta, it is an open beta for anybody that owns the game. All you do is on Steam, go into your properties, select betas, choose the beta, and boom, you're in. Or you can wait for it to go live and just play the live version.
Yes, and if you do not own the game so far, it's on sale currently until next Monday. On Steam, you get 50% off.
You took the words out of my mouth.
You can repeat it if you like.
Okay, I'll repeat it then. And if you haven't got the game yet, you can get 50% off on Steam. There is a link in the video description if you want to go and check that out, or check out any of the details about Transport Fever 2. There's loads of links in the video description, so just go and check them out at your own discretion. If you want to see more and probably see the game played a little bit better, Squirrel will be here on Sunday to play a little bit more and answer more questions with Matthias. So check that out. That's on Sunday, this Sunday. If you want that, you can find a link to that in some of the video descriptions. You can certainly find a link to it if you go to the Steam homepage for Transport Fever. Yeah, and if you've just arrived and you're like, oh man, what was in the update? So much cool stuff. You
wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. Yeah. The highlights are trains can be assigned to multiple platforms.
Not only trains.
Right, yes. Trains can be assigned to multiple platforms. Also, other vehicles can be assigned to their appropriate corresponding things, like airplanes can be assigned to their own terminals, and ships can be to their peers and whatever. Yeah, you can now add additional buildings, and they will add additional storage. You can have infinite color variations on trains because they've added a new color wheel to the trains. You can now put in waypoints for traffic that will allow you to select different lanes. You can put in waypoints for boats, and loads of other stuff. And if you really want to know everything that's in, including there's a whole ton of fixes that are in there as well, and a whole load of modding stuff as well. There are links in the video description which will take you through all of that stuff. So, there you go. Matthias, anything else before we say goodbye?
Some German words to wrap up.
Go for it.
Yeah, so just a couple of seconds in German. Vielen Dank für alle, die zugeschaut haben. Wie ich ganz am Anfang gesagt habe, die Streams sind auf Englisch, das heißt aber nicht, dass wir eure Frage nicht lesen. Ich habe in den Chats jeweils versucht, ein bisschen was zu beantworten, und es gibt natürlich immer die Möglichkeit im Steam-Forum oder auf den diversen Discord-Servern oder auch Transport Fever.net zum Beispiel als deutschsprachiges Forum zu nutzen, sich darüber auszutauschen. Und ich lese dort auch mit, teilweise lesen auch die Kollegen mit, und wir versuchen, sofern möglich, da auch mal mitzuschreiben und zu antworten. Ansonsten eben, wie gesagt, nächsten Dienstag beginnt die Beta, und am 10. Mai ist das offizielle Release vom Game Update. Wer das Spiel aktuell noch nicht hat, gibt es noch bis Anfang nächster Woche auf Steam 50% Rabatt als Part vom Steam Simfest. Das wär's für heute Nacht. Ich wünsche einen schönen Abend, und wer gerne nochmal einen Stream anschauen möchte, am Sonntag gibt es dann bei Squirrel nochmal eine Runde. Da werde ich auch wieder dabei sein und Fragen beantworten können. So now let's switch back to English. Yeah, I just repeated almost everything we said in English before, so no new informations that need to be translated. I'd say good night from my side. You have the final words.
All right, that's it, guys. If you want to have a chat with me on Discord, if you're one of our channel members or patron supporters, you can pop into Discord after this. There will be a little gap, probably of around, I would think about 45 minutes or so, because Picture's looking daggers at me, saying, "When are you going to give me some food? Damn it!" So we're going to go. We're going to grab some food quickly, and then we will be on Discord. And we'll be on Discord for a while. So if you fancy popping in for a chat, please do. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for Matthias for giving me the opportunity to have this preview of the update. Oh, damn, it's good. Guys, get your hands on it. Test it out. I think you're going to love it. You're going to come up with all kinds of cool things. Picture, say goodnight to everybody.
Good night, guys. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to Matthias as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a new Transport Fever 2 series coming out, starting like fairly soon. I don't know when, because I need to like sort all that stuff out. But yeah, there's going to be a Transport Fever 2 series coming from me. Guys, thanks for being here. We will catch you all again very soon. I'm out of here. Thanks. Peace out.
Good night.